We have now almost monthly get-togethers. We have good food. We've got fellowship. Uh, like with the senior games, we get to go to a lot of different places. So we're not just in Jeffersonville or Clarksville or Charleston, but we're in all of them. And we also know that our money's going for a good cause. Even though I had only bowled once in my life in 8th grade, we went to the bowling because they had hamburgers and French fries and free food. I mean, you can't beat that. So after a number of gutter balls and doing the thing, the lady who was in the next lane, who I understand was 91 years old, and a league player, turned over to me and said, "Honey, it's a good thing you can dance because you sure can't bowl." Because there were about a half dozen of us couples that all joined at the same time. Most of us were in the same age group, and we got to know each other and support each other, and so that was good. Also, in my neighborhood, Angus and Melinda Hart were there, and so they were Lifespan Resources people. So we got a lot of our neighbors to join. I think one year we had 10 people just in our neighborhood join. Some of them didn't last very long because they thought it was too competitive. But most of them had a good time, and at the end of the week, what we did is after the closing ceremonies, we all had our medals on and our t-shirts, and we marched around the neighborhood, and people were cheering us. So I think it's the fellowship and the friendship that really comes through. Of course, the classic one was when Hugh and I invited Melinda to senior games, and since she had just moved into the neighborhood, and since she was alone, we let her sit at the reserve table for dancers, and there was this young dude, well, maybe not so brash dude named Angus Hart, who sat next to her, and the rest is history. They started seeing each other and eventually got married. And both are still very active. Melinda's continued volunteering and then actually working with Lifespan Resources, and Angus does anything he's called upon to do relating to senior games. I think initially it's just out of curiosity and thinking, well, I'll do some things that I normally don't do. I normally don't bowl, I normally don't play horseshoes, or, I'll see what's happening. But after that, it's like this, they realize senior games is more than just the activities. It's the relationships. It's looking forward to seeing people every year. It's being disappointed when some people don't return for various reasons. Also, I think that with senior games, it's as I say, it's like a family reunion. And when you see someone from the senior games, at the concert in the park or at Aldi's or whatever, oh, are you going to the games next year and whatever. And so it's really a spirit of things. And what happens during that time is you become much more aware of Lifespan Resources. You're aware of their wonderful staff. They're great volunteers. You're aware of what it all takes to put these games together and to make people happy. The senior games people, they're more aware of what's going on in the community. We have the annual Christmas thing. We've had, again, on lesser scale, supporting groups of people. We're much more aware now of the outreach, and we knew of Meals on Wheels, but we had never had one of them. And at closing ceremonies this past year, we got to see what the clients are doing, and we also realized that people are there for everybody. And when we see things like the nursing home games or the rock people that have some disabilities, you realize that Lifespan Resources is an all-inclusive. It doesn't matter, what your ability or what your need or lack of need. You're all part of a group, and I think that's very important. One thing is personal. 2018, my husband Hugh passed away, and I was in Florida at the time. And when I finally came back here, had a burial in the National Cemetery, and Senior Games was coming up. And we had been partners together from day one on that. And I really didn't want to go to Senior Games to see everyone, but I knew Hugh would want me to go. And so I went that year, and just the outpouring of love of people, because they had heard about Hugh. They knew I was in a different state. I had to have a new dance partner. That was hard. But it was great. I ended up being lucky, and I was queen that year, and I rose my trophy and I said, "This one's for Hugh." And I really feel like that gang showed support, not just of someone you see once a year, but someone that you've had friendships over for decades, literally.